Well, it is just after 6 o'clock in the morning and I am standing on a church parking lot. Yeah, as you might imagine, I'm going on a ride today. 2 weeks ago I rode the tail of the dragon, which part of it's in North Carolina and then part of it is in Tennessee. Today I'm going to do the back of the dragon in Virginia. And the reason I'm on a church parking lot is I'm meeting a friend of mine who's also a colleague in ministry to go on the ride with me, and there he is on his brand new Indian Pursuit. Of course, I've got my new Harley there too, but his bike has all the bells and whistles. It's got everything you could imagine. A heated seat and a cool seat. Did yours come with heated grips?
Yes.
Yeah. Electric windshield, and Indian puts every feature on there you can imagine. Remote locking luggage, which is awfully convenient. So I've already told my YouTube audience that we're doing the back of the dragon. I've got a friend
Excellent.
going with me. So you want to introduce yourself and maybe tell us something about your church?
Sure. I'm Tom. Was appointed here in June of 2020. This church has been here since 1815. The sanctuary was built about 100 years ago in the early 1900s, and it's a neat place, growing. Just added on a new addition since I've been here since 2020, and really an exciting place. You'll see as we ride some beautiful scenery, rolling hills, beautiful farmland. As beautiful as this area is, the only thing that's more beautiful are the people that live here. I've been welcomed here, and if you are in this area, do yourself a favor, stop by. There's a little place across the street you can grab lunch. There's a picnic shelter here at the church. Enjoy the scenery and just enjoy some folks when you come.
I can agree with everything he says about the people here. The people in North Carolina are amazing. So I guess this is kind of, this church is kind of northwest of Roxborough. And then the church I serve is south of Roxborough. I serve the Helena Methodist Church in Timberlake, and I've been here a year and eager to get out and do some riding today and see some mountains. Good. So stay tuned and you can come along on our journey with us, and we'll see if we have any mishaps. Hopefully not, but sometimes I end up on a dirt road. I don't know how that happens, but so stay tuned. 200 miles from home, and this is the beginning of the back of the dragon. I am really eager to see how it compares to the tail of the dragon. I've heard numerous people say they like the back of the dragon better, but we'll see. I'll give you my thoughts about that at the end of the video, and if you have done both, I'd like to hear your opinion. Which did you prefer, the back of the dragon or the tail of the dragon? The tail of the dragon, you ride very slow if you follow the speed limit. Of course, I'm not exactly sure what the speed limit, well, it's 35 right here, but we're still in town. We'll see if the speed limit increases as we make our way out of Marion, Virginia. We're heading north to Tazewell, Virginia. And the ride up here, we picked up 16, which is what the back of the dragon is, good ways south of Marion, and it was a nice road riding that section of it, and yeah, it was impressive. I'm sure it's going to get even better. Speed limit 35. I better slow down. Some of these areas, they really like to enforce their speed limit, which, you know, that's what you do. Okay, Tazewell is 32 miles away, and so the back of the dragon, as I mentioned, runs from Marion to Tazewell. I think there are going to be more scenic overlooks, more scenic views here on the back of the dragon than there was the tail of the dragon. At least when I rode the tail of the dragon, I got to ride in a little bit of Tennessee. I'd never ridden a motorcycle in Tennessee before, so I got to pick up another state. So we got some pretty good little elevation changes here. You may have heard me say before about these GoPro cameras. the stabilization is so good, you really sometimes don't notice the elevation changes and the leaning, because it kind of levels it out. But definitely some elevation changes. I have not seen another speed limit sign unless I went by it without paying attention. I'm assuming, no, speed limit's up to 40. Okay, that's a little better. There may be more sweepers on this one than just the really tight switchbacks, but we will see. I'll put my bike back in sport mode. It does really well. There we go. Feel that extra power, and the engine braking is more aggressive. Yes, Harley Davidson finally has different modes, mode options. Indian's been doing that for a long time, and now Harley's finally offering it on their big touring bikes. I think they offer it on the Pan America. But finally, the Road Glide, Street Glide have ride modes, is the word I'm looking for. Oh yeah, this is definitely more scenic already. Much of the tail of the Dragon, you're in the woods, you're in the forest. I mean, there are some scenic overlooks, but yeah, this is incredible. Now, the tail of the Dragon, it seemed like every curve you came around, there were professional photographers taking pictures, and I did purchase a couple of the photos. Which I haven't seen that yet on this road. It may not. I don't think the back of the Dragon gets near the traffic that the tail of the Dragon gets, but I did ride the tail of the Dragon much like this on a Friday morning, and so at least the same day of the week. This may be a little bit later in the day, but the ride up here was just an incredible ride all the way for me from Timberlake. There's a Harley. No, that's an Indian. That's the new, well, the Roadmasters. I always complained about the heat coming off my Indian Roadmaster. I saw where someone in a post the other day referred to theirs as the Roast Master instead of the Roadmaster, and thought, well, for me that was true. It could be really toasty. So here we go. I need to keep watching for speed limit signs. Oh, speed limit 55. Well, you know, coming up to Marion on this same road, the speed limit was 55. Now here's a 25-mile-an-hour recommended section, but speed limit 55, that's way better than 35 as it was on the tail of the Dragon. Tail of the Dragon was pretty technical at times, though. Well, this is kind of technical here. To gear down a little bit. See a van coming the other way. I think that's one of those fancy van motorhomes. Oh yeah, this is incredible. And for someone who lived the last 20 years in southeast Texas where everything is flat, I am in hog heaven. North Carolina, Virginia, I mean Tennessee and beyond, you have these beautiful mountain roads. Yeah, this is pretty good. Now this does remind me some of the tail of the Dragon. Trucks, last opportunity to turn around. Well, fortunately I'm not in a truck. Here's a 15-mile-an-hour curve. Got a little elevation going along with it. That was pretty good. Alright, I'm behind a little sports car. I hope they don't hold me up too bad, because I guess the speed limit is still 55. Of course, you got those suggested speeds in the curves for safety. I didn't ask Tom if he wanted to stop at any of the scenic overlooks, but we'll probably stop at least one or two. Sometimes I get so caught up riding, I don't take time to look at the scenic views. Okay, this car needs to pick up the pace a little bit. I recently put a Sundowner touring seat on this bike. Of course, I did 498 miles in one day on the stock seat. I'll definitely have over 400 miles by the time I get home today. So far, the Sundowner seat's doing really well. We'll see when I hit that 300 and 400 mile mark on my seat. More elevation changes. This climbing. Oh, good. They're going to pull over and let us by. Thank you. My mother watched my video of the tail of the dragon. She said it made her a little nervous watching it. But the one that was intense for me was riding to the top of Pikes Peak in Colorado. My goodness, now that was intense. And unfortunately, when we were in Colorado, we did not have time to do the $1 Million Highway. One of these days I'm going to have to ride all the way back to Colorado just to do the $1 Million Highway. I got some more elevation changes here. Pretty good little climb. Earlier on the ride, I left the house, it was 73, but especially when it's dark and moving, 73 feels much cooler than you would think. And then with the elevation a little while back, it was 69 degrees. Here we are late July, 69 degrees. Of course, that is in, elevation. 2 weeks ago, riding part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, it dropped down into the 60s like that. I thought I should have brought a jacket. Tazewell, 25 miles. That's the end of the back of the Dragon. Scenic overlook. I guess we'll check out one scenic overlook. We don't get run over in this curve. Oh my goodness. Impressive. I figure we need to check out at least one scenic overlook. Sometimes I get so busy riding, I don't check out the overlooks. Man, that's impressive. Don't know how well you can see that with my GoPro camera. Wow. I may end up liking the back of the Dragon better than the tail of the Dragon. What a view, what a view. I would love to retire in a house where I could sit on the porch and look at a mountain. So far I'm impressed, and we just got started.
Yeah, some of those are real tight.
Yeah. Making us use our biker skills. So yours has ride modes too, right? Do you ever put yours in sport mode?
I haven't yet.
I like sport mode for roads like this. It even, on this one, it even increases the engine braking.
Huh.
Hopefully my GoPro camera won't just quit on me. This thing has a mind of its own. I think it gets hot and sometime will just quit. But at least it's not hot today, so maybe we won't have that problem. 15 mile an hour suggested speed, and we are descending. Look at the stone facing there. Yeah, definitely descending. And this is incredible. My wife is so bogged down getting her master's degree at Duke Divinity School. She's attending seminary. She's also a Methodist pastor, but I'll be eager when she finishes school so she can go on some of these rides with me. Yeah, this is fun. This is too fun. I can't believe I've been here a year. Well, in a couple of 3 days, I will have been in North Carolina a year, and finally getting to do the back of the Dragon and the tail. The back of the Dragon's much closer to the house, a couple hundred miles from the house. The tail of the Dragon was more like 350 miles from the house. Yeah, this is nice. I suspect people that live in the mountains just take them for granted and just assume that everybody has mountains, and that is not the case. Of course, living down on the Texas Gulf Coast, we probably took the beach for granted, because not everyone has a beach. But yeah, we are descending. Oh man, this is fun. This is too fun. I've only went on one hog ride so far since I purchased this Harley Davidson. Because I had my Indian Roadmaster when I moved to North Carolina. So I got real involved in the Indian Riders group, and I still ride with them on a regular basis. I need to invite them to come up and ride this road. Of course, I imagine a lot of them already have, but yeah, I'm not seeing near the traffic. And of course, I went, as I said earlier, on a Friday morning when I did the Tail of the Dragon, but there were a lot of motorcycles and a lot of sports cars on the road. And as I mentioned, the photographers, obviously I haven't seen a single photographer and probably won't, I don't think. Oh my goodness, it's getting kind of tight here. I'm looking at the rock facing there when I should be looking at the road. Mom, if you're watching this, you didn't hear that. Yes, my mother watches my motorcycle YouTube videos. But, you know, we moved 1,000 miles away from over 1,000 miles away from my mother, so she wasn't too happy about that. But we do go back every chance we get, and we talk on the phone a lot. Now there's a place up here, kind of like Dill's Gap. I'm sure they sell souvenirs and probably food at the north end of the back of the Dragon. I'm eager to stop and check it out when we get to the top. I'm saying top because it's north. I don't know if it's uphill or downhill actually, but man, wow. So you got the combination of the curves and then the elevation changes. I mean, curves are nice. We had places in Texas where we had curves, but you add the elevation changes and it really adds to the experience. I'm wondering if the speed limit, surely the speed limit is not still 55, but it could be, I guess. They post signs for suggested curves. Well, I'm glad I stopped at the Scenic overview. I don't know how many more there'll be. I should have put the Tazewell address in my navigation. At least I would know how many miles we had left on the ride. Oh wow, there's a house, there's a log cabin down here. Man, talking about a beautiful place to live. Of course, I've always wanted a log cabin. I've always thought log cabins were just too cool. And then, you know, I was thinking living in Texas, especially being from the piney woods of East Texas, I'm thinking log cabin in the woods, which would be awesome. But a log cabin in the mountains, man, that would be way cooler than. Yeah, this is much different than the Tail of the Dragon. But anyway, back to the log cabin in the mountains. That would be incredible. Or what a car hustling around the curves. Speed limit is still 55 miles an hour, so I'm surprised I'll see some crotch rockets really hustling through those 15-mile-an-hour curves. But like here, you know, the 55 is not bad, but obviously in these tight turns, you want to slow it down. Well, God knew what he was doing when he created the earth. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Man, I am just too impressed. Too impressed. What do we have here? Is that a little business or a post office? A little country store. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this is very scenic. Yeah, so if you want to, you can really hustle around these curves with that 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm assuming we will turn around and go back down, experience both directions, or we may just start heading back home from Tazewell. I'll check with Tom and see what his thoughts are. I know when I did the Tail of the Dragon, I did it both directions. I went, I'd say, I guess it was north up into Tennessee, and then turned around and rode it back down into North Carolina. Yeah, this is pretty. Well, so far we've only had the one scenic overlook. Man, I love curves. Curves and motorcycles. There's an old farmhouse there. I don't know if you got a glimpse of it. I would love to have buy one of those old farmhouses and renovate it. Which you can tell some of them still look like they did when they were brand new, but some of them are obviously too far gone to renovate. Since I do not have my navigation going, hopefully I don't accidentally get off of the back of the Dragon. I don't think I will. I think it's marked well, hopefully. Or the little, what I would call county roads that veer off are marked well. Look at that. Mountains and valleys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is nice. This is 16 is turning here, so it is well marked. Yep, I'm still on 16 north. Look at that sign, 25 miles an hour suggested speed. When I was younger, we would try to double those amounts. Mom, you didn't hear that. But I was young and stupid then. I'm much older and, well, maybe not any wiser. Let's see, 16 goes this way. I'm glad it's marked. I don't know how we live without navigation. Caswell, still 19 more miles. Well, I'll obviously have to edit this video down. I know you're not going to want to watch 45 minutes or however long it's going to take to ride this thing. You're going to want to watch an hour-long video. Oh, that's a beautiful home there. Impressive. Here comes some more bikes. Adventure bikes. I don't know if I'll ever go there. Oh, I lost my stomach a little bit. There's a little bit of a drop. A little wet here. And my Harley Davidson is performing extremely well. Wow, that's some beautiful mountain views. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do miss my Indian. Maybe in about 3 years when I pay off my truck, I could go buy another Indian and keep my Harley and have the best of both worlds. I had the best of both worlds back in 2017. When I bought my first used Indian, I kept my used Harley Davidson. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Maybe I should have let Tom lead for a little bit. He might have wanted to ride more aggressive. Or if we come back down it, maybe I'll ask him if he wants to lead on the way down. Yeah, if you like curvy roads, the back of the Dragon, more elevation changes, doing some pretty good climbing now. We were descending, gear down a gear, still climbing. Yeah, when you look at the amount of traffic compared to the tail of the Dragon, this may be one of the best kept secrets in this part of the United States, because people, I have friends that have come all the way from Texas to do the tail of the Dragon. Well, if you're going to come do the tail of the Dragon, you need to travel maybe a little farther and do the back of the Dragon. Slay the whole thing. Don't just cut the tail off. You got to jump on that back of the Dragon and ride it. I'm afraid if I was by myself, I might be tempted to ride far more aggressive, which wouldn't be wise to do by yourself, because if you ended up off the road, it might take a while for someone to find you. So maybe it's good I've got a riding buddy with me today. We had planned this thing numerous times, and we had scheduling conflicts and then rain. I was determined today I was going to ride rain or not. There goes a couple of Harleys. Another Harley. Yep, I made it my mind. Another Harley. I was going to ride rain or shine. I will do that sometimes. If I plan a ride, I just ride. I put the rain suit on and go. Which is not really wise, because obviously wet roads can increase your risk of having an accident. But sometimes if you wait for it not to rain, Southeast Texas, we got so much rain, if we waited for a sunshiny day, or at least no forecast of rain, we wouldn't hardly ever ride. Yeah, buddy, this is nice. This is nice. Still ascending. Climbing. I don't know what I like better, climbing or ascending or descending. Caswell, 15 more miles. Speed limit still 55. Even though it's saying suggested 25 miles an hour for the next, I forgot how many miles, but yeah, now we're descending again. Maybe descending is more fun. Maybe. Yeah, this is nice. I may say that a million times before this ride is over. This is nice. Whee! I'm like a kid in a candy store. Woo! Well, man, right, left, back to the right, back to the left. Up now we're climbing a little bit. Back to the right. Back to the left. Yeah, this is, oh wow, look at that rock facing there. Back to the right. My word, this is fun. Yeah, I only saw the one scenic overlook, but I always have a hard time deciding, am I going to stop at the overlook or keep riding? When we ride in Arkansas up to the top of Queen Wilhelmina, there's numerous overlooks, so if you stopped at every one, it would slow down your progress. Or if you miss one, there's another one around the corner. Yeah, buddy. Twisties. That's pretty good. Look at that, man. Is that incredible? And I try to point out, I probably need to mount my camera somewhere different, because I always point out it looks like I'm looking through the windshield and I'm not, so that distorted area there is not bothering me. I look over the windshield, but my camera mounted on my helmet looks like I'm looking through it. Woo-wee, back and forth. I've owned numerous Harley Davidson touring bikes, or just the numerous touring bikes, period. And this new 2024 Street Glide is the sportiest Harley touring bike I've ever owned. I mean, let me think about it. It is just the sportiest touring bike, period. I had a Honda Pacific Coast many years ago that was a sport touring bike, but you know, it had a lot smaller motor. So yeah, this is the sportiest touring bike I have ever owned. And I've owned a long list of touring bikes. I mean, I'm not going to say this is a sport touring bike, but it is definitely a performance bagger. And if you want to ride it in a sporty fashion, it certainly corners better than any touring bike I've ever owned. Well, of course, it's a good 100 pounds lighter than the Indian Roadmaster I had. Wow. Man, this is curve after curve after curve. I forgot how many curves are on this road. I'll have to look that up and put that in the description. Again, I want to know if you've ridden both. If you've done the tail of the dragon and the back of the dragon, which one do you like the best? I know which one I like the best, and I will tell you at the end. Yes, I'm trying to get you to stay all the way to the end. Get on some brakes here. They talk about look, lean, and roll, but sometimes you gotta look, brake, and roll. Yeah, oh man, that's another thing about this new Harley. It's the best brakes I've ever had on a touring bike. I mean, this thing, it's really like they, you know, had performance bagger in mind. And well, this inherited some features from the previous just regular Street Glide ST, and then it also inherited some of the features from last year's CVO. Now, not all of the CVO stuff trickled down, but I'm thinking about the just a regular Street Glide ST, like this sporty front fender came right off of the original. Good, it's well marked. I know to turn there to stay on the back of the Dragon. More next 3 miles, they're suggesting 25 miles an hour. Back to ascending, climbing up the hill. 12 more miles to Tazewell. Yeah, if I try to post this whole video, it would be long. My goodness, I'm turning and climbing. Turning and climbing. Turning and climbing. Turning and climbing. Yeah, buddy. What always concerns me is coming around one of these blind curves, have somebody crossing the double yellow line there wouldn't be any good. But so far I haven't seen anyone driving crazy, but there is not near as much traffic as you find on the tail of the Dragon. Well, it will be lunchtime by the time we get to Tazewell, and I'm beginning to get hungry. I ate a bowl of cereal this morning. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. And I had some little peanut butter crackers at a convenience store. I'll be ready for lunch by the time we get to the end of this thing. Ascending. Wow, there's a house. There's a house up there on that hill. Another one. Several houses. Oh wow. And a log cabin. I think it said cabin rental. That'd be a cool thing about a cabin. You could put it in a rental pool and reserve it for yourself so many, you know, weeks out of the year, and the rest of the time rent it out. Take some money. Yep, this is too fun. I could gear down another gear. I guess I could probably turn my camera off and turn it back on when we get down to the place to eat. Conserve some battery, even though I have a backup battery. Yeah, oh wow. There's a scenic view. Ooh-wee. Wow. Yeah, that is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. Wow. I don't know how many times I'm going to say wow. But up there is that a photographer? I think that was, but we missed our chance. He wasn't set up yet. This is too cool. There goes a squirrel. What a big old squirrel. My word. Golly, this is pretty. Yeah, if I'd have put the address in, I would have known how much farther I've got to go. So now you could definitely pick up the pace if you wanted to. More sweepers than tight turns. I think I'm gonna turn the camera off and then turn it back on for my concluding remarks. So they got a pretty cool place here in Tazewell at one end of the back of the dragon. They've got food, dragon, back of the dragon souvenirs. It's a really cool little place. The food was good. I had pizza and the pizza and salad. Found you a shirt you can't live without?
I think so.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I always forget. 32 miles, 438 curves. Yep, you got to do the back of the dragon. But the real cool photo op for this location is outside. Yes, they have a dragon. Is that cool or what? And we got talking about the tail of the dragon and the back of the dragon.
Yes.
Got your tail of the dragon shirt on, you got to buy a back of the dragon shirt here.
It's sitting on the counter.
The big question, which is better? The back of the dragon or the tail of the dragon?
Okay, everyone's gonna probably kill me, but I really liked the back. Simply because it was longer. The tail of the dragon is very compact, and I will tell everybody out there, if you take the most compact, fun part of the tail and multiply it by like 10, come to the back, because it's awesome. It really is.
So your vote is the back of the dragon.
Going with the back.
Okay, Tom, what's your vote?
Well, not having done the
Oh, that's
the
right. You
tail,
haven't done the
but
tail
I just
yet.
did the back, and I'm supporting that. That's a
I
good
forgot.
ride.
I just asked you if you'd done the tail before. You haven't done. Well, I did the tail, as I mentioned earlier in the video 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to say the back of the dragon all day, for just the reasons you said. It's longer. The speed limit's a lot higher, where if you want to hustle, you can. There are some sections you can go much faster. There are some sections you really want to go the suggested curves, but yeah, I'm with you. They're both great.
No,
They're
agreed.
both
And
great.
trust me, 55 is it's just a teaser. You don't ever touch it.
Yeah. So be sure and comment if you've ridden both, which one you like better. Tom, we've got to go do the tail of the dragon so you can do a real comparison of the two.
And there's
But
the claw of the dragon we can do.
Also,
oh,
an eye of the
Claw
dragon.
and the
there's the claw. Well, we've got to do the claw to slay the whole dragon. I mean,
Well,
There you
there's
go.
also an eye of the dragon in Kentucky.
really?
Yes.
Ooh.
There's body parts everywhere.
Back of the dragon. Okay, Tom, I want your impressions of the back of the dragon.
It's worth the ride up here. There's a lot of twisty curves, and there's sharp curves, and it's a technical ride, and it's an enjoyable ride, and there wasn't a lot of traffic.
The dragon. So now we are gonna ride the dragon back the other direction, start making our way back home, and remember, if you like to ride as much as you can, because one day we're all gonna be too old to ride.